Welcome back to Laura's Design Studio. We are going to work on the collaboration for Saturday, which is the Friendship Train. And we are going to do the Resiners. If you watched my unboxing, Resiners was kind enough to send me their Halloween jewelry mold. Comes with hardware, both gold and silver. You get your fish hooks and your jump rings. We're going to put those aside for the moment. We won't need those till later. And here are the molds. They are super cute. I mixed up 100 milliliters of Bond Craftor 1-to-1. I have some colors: black, purple, orange. We don't need red. Green, and I pulled out a blue. And we are going to use these little cups that are not good for much. And we're just gonna pour out of here. Mix up some color. We're gonna do black first because I gotta make those. I hope that's David's watch and not his phone. I hear ringing. Since he left for Colleen to go to the girls' math night and book fair, he's gonna go buy them some books. Luckily, all my granddaughters love books, so he told them he would come up there for that. Alright, so here's some black. And let's get another color going here. We'll do some orange. I'm gonna put some of this glow powder in each of them. This is from Eye Candy. I got their sample glow powders. That way I can see which colors I like the best. This one is the Mujador Green. There's a little bit left in there. Okay. They also sent me a bottle of UV resin, and we'll be using that also. But I thought I would start with the epoxy and I'm trying to get a small stick. All right, let's see. Definitely need some black bats here. But you know what? I think I'm going to start with the moon. which we should probably do in a yellow. Yeah, we're gonna do this. This is gonna be I'm gonna try and use the black to push the orange. Gonna make a glowy moon. Make sure you get it up in the little hook. It looks like it could use a little more. And then I'm gonna do some spiders. Just gonna try and let it push itself into the legs. Okay, mix another color with my little cups. Do a green. Let's do some green. Put glow powder in it too. Okay, the spider looks good. It filled itself up. I may have overfilled the spider web. I may have to get some of that out. I do want to really try the Resiners UV. I heard from Mary over at Resin Me Up that it's really nice. I have trouble with UV, and I know it's because I haven't worked with it a whole lot, and I didn't start off with UV at all. So it's a little bit harder for me to deal with. I always seem to get bubbling, stuff like that. And I think I heard that that's like the lamp was too close. So I gotta really work with some UV and figure it out. Oh, no, yeah, make a mess. Good job. I think we need some out of here. I think I have too much. I like the thought of UV. I just have never had really good results with it, so I am excited to try their UV. These little spatulas, between this and that little mini curved spatula, which I call the magic spatula, those are my favorites. These little ones are nice, especially on small molds. I got them off Amazon, and look at this pack. I think I have enough for a while. I don't even know, does it say? 25 of them. Looks like more than that, but 25 of these mini spatulas. Okay. I think where we got that one. Turn this up again. Let's do I'm gonna pour some of these witches' hats. Zombie hands. I'm assuming that's what you would call these. That's what they look like to me. So if you've been watching my channel, you know I am doing 31 days of Halloween with Mary from Resin Me Up and Marva from Marvelous Artsy. And that's gonna be a really fun project. We do a project every day, and then that project on October 31st, that project comes out to be a whole scene. So Mary's been doing this for years now. I kind of worked my way into it because I thought it was a cool idea. She's been planning hers since last year, after her last year one came out. I decided I wanted to try and jump in on it. She was nice enough to let me. And I have ideas, but we'll see how they turn out. Okay, that one looks good except for one place right here. That one looks pretty good. Top it off a little bit. The witch's hats, the moons, the zombie hands. They're looking pretty good. Definitely want to do, let's get some more black going. Should be enough. It's funny because every time David leaves, his dog, his pit bull, wants to be in the room with me. If David's here, she doesn't give me the time of day, she doesn't listen to me, she doesn't do, yeah. The minute David's gone, she wants to be in here. She's been mean to the cats when we first started this, so the cats are leery of her. But if they're in here, we've discovered that she's a bit territorial, and that is one of the reasons that Clyde got hurt. But she hasn't done anything. She tried one day and I threw her in her kennel immediately. And so but if they're in the room here with me, she won't do anything to them. If they are, I want another cup, I want some purple at least. If they go out there or to David's bedroom, no, cannot be done. Those are like her issues. But it's hilarious because right now, David left. She is sitting in my doorway. She wants to come in here and get on the bed. But Spike, my one cat, he was sitting like right inside the door. And so she hasn't come in here yet, even though he's moved over on the other side. But she's sitting there facing the hall, and she's waiting for me to say something. because the minute I talk to her, she just comes in. So right now she's sitting there. It's hilarious. I am gonna do some bats. The bottle said that this was indigo. It looks more purple to me. I don't know where these, oh, I think Mary sent me these. But I know Marva has them too, because we both have a hard time reading the label because of the font and the way that they, how they marked it. It's very hard to read. Oh, she's given up and she's just gonna come in. She realized Spike isn't in the door anymore. But I'll show you the bottle. It's these. I don't know what brand they are because there's nothing, but it's pearlescent pigment, and that label actually says indigo, but they're really hard to read. I don't know what they were thinking when they used that font, because yeah. Let's do another spider web here. I'm gonna try not to overfill it this time. Might as well do a spider while I'm here. And pour another drop into this one. If you're new here, yes, I do not wear gloves. I have several autoimmune diseases, including lupus, which has attacked my spine, and I have no feeling in my extremities. So wearing gloves, I can't do it because I really can't feel anything. I have very limited. I broke my ankle back last November, right before Thanksgiving. They had to send me to a specialist because my break was so bad. And when I got to the emergency room, my blood pressure was only 106/70. Which means, what? I don't feel pain properly. Why don't I feel pain properly? Because I have no feeling. Yeah. So, but I am been doing this for a very long time. Been doing this since 2018 or so. I have never had a reaction to any resin that I have used. Resins have to have certain criteria for me to use them because I don't want an issue. And so far, it has worked in my favor. Will there come a time somewhere down the road that maybe I have an issue? Possibly. But until then, I love resin and I'm still going to play with it. And yes, I put a disclaimer at the beginning of my videos telling everybody to wear proper PPE. Don't do what I do. But, you know, also please respect the fact that there are medical reasons why I don't wear PPE. Come on, fill up. This one's taking a lot longer to fill. I had somebody in my comments say, well, you put a disclaimer at the beginning, but you don't wear it. That's why the disclaimer is there. Because I had people who were very upset with the fact that I don't wear any. I've seen a lot of other people who also, you know, don't wear PPE, and I know, you know, I'm not gonna say a word because there could be a reason. My opinion is that, you know, it's a health risk. Okay, I got it. I understand that. Obviously, it's one I'm taking. So, you know, just please. I've heard it all, but there are reasons why people can't. Spider web, fill up. Okay. Now skulls. We're just gonna mix some colors in here. Love resin. I love eco resin. Craftor's casting powder is one of my favorites. Probably is my favorite. And yes, I spray my hands with alcohol. Anytime I get resin on my hands, I do spray it with alcohol and get it off. Right now I see I have black makeup powder all over my hand. I can't imagine why. hate these cups with all the ridges. I wish they could make cups like them, but not with all the ridges in it. It's a pain. I have a million of them, because you literally get them in everything you buy. So I have a fair supply of them, believe me. So the fact that it is make it real easy that it just get thrown away. Minimal cleanup there. That one's looking pretty good. Okay. I guess we'll fill these up too. I was afraid that 100 mils wouldn't be enough, but looks like it's gonna be, I'm gonna have leftovers. Which just means I'll pull out another mold. I'll probably pull one out that I have sitting beside me and I can make for my 31 Days of Halloween project. Okay, that one's dead. Let's see. I need to take stock in alcohol, paper towels, and baby wipes. I think every resin artist should do that because we use a ton of it, especially me. This one needs more. You are not all the way full. There. Cross there. These molds are nice and chunky. what to do with those really thin molds. Have you ever gotten? I have some jewelry molds that are super thin, and I'm like, how do you make that look nice? Those are in the bottom of a drawer that I don't use. Well, that's where the other one was that I got out to use for my project. It was in the bottom of the drawer because I never use it. Because either, and yes, now she's snoring on the bed. She's a pit bull. She snores. It's always funny when she does because the cats just look up like they're totally annoyed with the situation. And how dare she be snoring when they're trying to take a nap? That's what it is. Okay. I think we're about there. Alright, I'm gonna scoot these back. I don't think I need another cup. I am gonna need, that's how much black I use. I buy them in the great big jars. Move that one back. And that one. Ooh. The Resiners card is under there. Okay. Now, we have some left here. So I'm going to pull out I'm going to mix color into the rest of that one. I really like that indigo color. I'm hoping it shows up against that black. I always thought indigo was like blue, like ink blue. This one looks more purpley to me. Okay, I have some black left. I have this indigo. This is empty because I used it all. Molds. Let's see. Well, I need that for something. I definitely need this. I'm telling you, this 31 days of October, 31 days of Halloween, it is making me think way outside the box. Like, I literally took every mold, not the tank, out of my drawers, and I looked through them, and I was like, okay, what does this look like? What it could be used for? Because I have a plan for that. You know, what I want it to look like in the end. So, I literally took every mold out. And tried to see what I could use it for. And then I put them in a stash over here beside my, on this side of the desk over here. And that is what I am pulling from. And these I definitely need. because they're like paper stones. Like, I never thought the military mold would come in that useful, but it does. Okay, we are down to this one. So whatever I have left here is what I have left. I'll just give you a few examples of me thinking outside the box with my molds. I'll show you something. So, I really wanted like an archway into the town, right? Because our theme is Pumpkin Town. And I thought, how am I going to get an arch, you know? So then I pulled out tray mold. This is the two halves of the tray mold. I put a barrier in between so I could make two different ones. And then I glued them together so that they will stand up on their own to make my arch. So, you know, thinking outside the box, stuff like that. I'm like, what can this make? So that is how I went about choosing the molds that I was going to be using. I mean, obviously it's Pumpkin Town, so the pumpkins are going to be, you know, in there, but making all the other stuff, all the decorations for like the house and all that, yeah, that's where a lot of my, I have some nail art molds. They're like little bats and stuff like that. Ghost bats. All that good stuff. So they're going to be part of, you know, the decorations. So of course you got to decorate the houses, right? If you're doing houses, I guess you could just do, you know, literal pumpkin patch, but Mary said Pumpkin Town, so I am making a town. It's hilarious. Let me see what other molds I need. Speaking of the nail art mold, here it is right here, and this is the next one we're going to pour into. So this one has little pumpkins, moons, bats, and ghosts. And so I've been every color. I try and get some out because you can't have a town that's all the same color. No. But I told Mary, I said, you have my mind working because I'm trying to work just with what was in my mold drawer and what I could make with it. And some of these may end up in my town. I have ideas. The the Resiners molds, they're gonna come in handy. I'm very grateful they sent them to me, especially at this time where I'm trying to figure out what I need to make things. Because I live on a fixed income, I can't just, you know, at a whim go out and buy, you know, molds. And like, I'm not gonna go find a mold for the archway and buy it just for this. No, I will figure it out with the molds I have, and that's what I did. I have acetate bats. I cut up a bat, cut his wings off, used the wings, wrapped them in the resin tape that you get with making open bezels. Wrapped them in that, stuck them in the halfway point, and then poured my black around the two sides. That way I didn't have to try and cut it or anything. I just had two pieces. And then I glued them together so it was stable and it would stand up. And when I get closer and I'm ready to start putting everything together, you guys will see that gigantic, if you guys have been with me and you saw the glow-in-the-dark table that I made, I'm using that mold for like my base, you know. So I will be pouring that mold. But first I want to get a bunch of this stuff done, and then when I think I'm at that point, I'll start making the base, and then I'll know exactly if I need something and what I need. But I have a list. That's me, make the list of things that I want in my town and figure out how to make it happen. That's why I told her she has my wheels turning, because I know what I want. How am I going to make it? So tell me in the comments, have you ever wanted something and had to make it and use one of your other molds to do that? Tell me. I want to know what you guys have, like, taken a mold and transformed it into. I think that's fun. And as I think of other things, I'm like, oh, yeah, I have a mold that I can use and actually make that item with a little ingenuity. And it's kind of, you know, I do the collaboration with Mary and Tammy and Marva with coasters. You know, it's kind of like that. What other things can you make with coasters? Except for this is a much larger scale. These are fiddly. They're tiny. And they only take like a drop or two. They're easy to overfill. And that is a piece of cured resin. Nope, didn't get it. Well, it's okay. It went to the bottom, it's staying there. Okay. Oh, I missed a moon right there. And do any of you guys have these nail art molds that are teeny tiny? I'll just set that one back there. And of course we still have some. So there is, I had it out. Where are you? I had my little cat into resin mold over here. There it is. I love this little cat. You can see how white he is already because I've used him so much. It's a little cat on that you put a threader chain through the paws for a pendant. I love this mold. It's turning white already and I just got it last month because that's how many I've made. I could have sworn I just saw. And this takes barely any resin. I mean, stuff is getting really thick, so. This guy has a little bitty tail. But you gotta make sure that you have. He also has teeny tiny ears, and you need to take something little like these, and you need to make sure that you get them in the ears down there. Because if you get a bubble in this thing, that's where it'll be. It'll be right in the ear. Okay, needs a little bit more. you gotta make sure you get his paws up there, because that's has holes where the threader chain goes through. And if you've never heard of a threader chain, I didn't either until this cat. And I found them on Amazon. I got one with the mold from INTORESIN, and they do sell them separately, I believe. I was able to find a big pack on Amazon. Took me a while to find them because I had never heard of them. But when we demold this, I'll get out, because I have some chains. I'll get out a chain and I will show you guys how they work. Okay. That, and we have enough for I'm going to pour part of it in this vat, and then I'll fill it up when I make resin the next time. But now is when you get out your magic spatula. That's what I call this one. I call this the magic. It's the mini curved ones. A lot of people have found them and used them. But my lord, you will never know how much resin you are wasting before until you use one of these. Because cups I never thought I could get any more out of. You can make like a whole nother pendant or something. Sometimes 2 or 3, depending on how big they are. But just lay it in there and then cover it with whatever I do next. Okay. He'll go off to the side. Alright guys, I'm going to clean up my mess. And we'll see you on the demold. Well, let's do a demold here. Here's all the little ones. Pumpkins, like that. We've got moons, stars, ghosts. I'm dropping. Still dropping. Little bats stuck on my hand. So there are those. So all these are just going to go into my cup for decorations for my project. As you can see, I have several decorations already. little, they're hard for me to handle. Oop. I got 2 moons. There's a moon. There's a moon. We've got okay, so those are done. Oh, but I have other things that go on this. Oh my Lord, they're sticking to everything. I got static electricity or something. They're sticking to everything. Get in there, bat. There we go. Then we have, okay, this bat, obviously we're not demolding. That's just sitting there as a drip mold. The moon went over there. Oh my Lord. They're just in your cup. So these two, these are the holographic barrettes, but I'm using them for something else. So those will go in the cup. And then we have our wood grain. That's like a gravel, I think. And then the bricks. Those all go in the cup. Now, I think we are down to what we were doing, which is these two and this one. This is that INTORESIN mold. Let me show you guys. He has a bubble in his ears, even after I did all that. But here, he needs to be cleaned up in between the paws. But there's holes right here. Hold on, my son just got home. Sorry about that. Okay. Now, for this cat, obviously I need to fix its ears and I need to clean it up. But and this has nothing to do with but I wanted to show you this just in case. So the paws have holes like this. Now sometimes you get resin in there and you need to get it out. So if you just take your drill and you should be able to go straight across to the other one, like that. Now my chains are tangled, but I got 2 ends here. I gotta sit here and untangle them. But here is the end that's considered the threader, okay? This part goes through the paws. Now, the ones that I got off Amazon, these that I'm showing you right now, they have a smaller, the ones from INTORESIN have a much longer threader bar, but these work. So you got to get it through both paws and then pull it on the other side. Sometimes they're a pain. Okay. Sometimes it's my fingers that are a pain. So pull it once you get it through the both paws. Ah! Let me grab this. My hands are not really working, but okay, so put your threader end through both paws. Grab it, pull it through. He hangs on the chain. Okay? So then the other end of the chain looks like this. It's a lobster claw, and then on the lobster claw there is a round ball. Where's my other end? Because I dropped it. Okay. So there is a round ball on this end. My Lord, I cannot hang on to anything. Oh my gosh. All right. So you take your threader end and put it through this ball. It's gonna be tight, that's why it's there. Okay, so you put the threader and the needle-like end through this ball. Pull it through. Lord, my hands. Pull it through on the other side. Like I said, it's gonna be tight. That's how it's supposed to be. But get it through. This is also how you adjust your chain. So if you want a shorter chain, you pull more chain through the ball. If you want a longer chain, you pull it up to the threader. Okay, it does not come out easily at all, because there's like a rubber in there, so and then you just use the lobster claw like you would any other necklace, because this is on the other side. So that is how a threader chain works for the INTORESIN resin cat. I love that mold. I have made several things out of it. Okay, so now that I showed you that, let's get back to our Resiners mold here. I got up things and tools. So let's demold some of these and take a look. Oh, I like it. What do you guys think? So that one. We've got that bat. Here's another bat. I like this mold. There's another one. The zombie hands. That's what I'm calling them. The witch's hat. The other zombie. And the other witch. And then this mold, we've got the spider web. I'm gonna say make sure these are fully cured when you're taking them out, because all those things are really tight. Another spider web. Here is the skull. And the other one. Let's do some spiders here. There's a spider. Another spider. Graveyard cross. Okay, so they send you earring stuff. So they're advertising this as earrings, which is great if you like big earrings. We're gonna put them together. I am not a big earring person. Of course, the earrings that I have in my ears have not come out in like 20 years because I don't change my earrings, and my ears are super sensitive. Like, I can only wear platinum, which is, you know, expensive, or titanium, or surgical steel. Not stainless steel, surgical steel. There is a difference, because one they use for inside your body, and that's the one that I can have. When I broke my ankle, they put titanium in. They had to rebuild the whole ankle. And that was because of my lupus. It was my POTS. Because because I passed out and fell. Alright, so they're saying earrings. I would say that's fine if you like big earrings. If not, make them into keychains. You can do either. They're yours. Do them the way you want them. In my hands, I'm struggling. Here we go. Let me start with another one that has the hole in a place that I don't have to go in between things. Oh my Lord. You see me struggling on camera? Yeah. Okay. I'm getting frustrated with myself. Very frustrated with myself. Come on. Come on. Oh my Lord. Still struggling. Yep. That doesn't even hang right. You need 2 jump rings then. Guess I can twist this one. Because yes, it needs to go the other way. This would be easier if you used bigger jump rings, because these are tight. Alright, so there's an earring. But you gotta make it hang right, so you needed to twist this part the other way. And then they hang right. I'm gonna go off camera and finish these and I'll be back. I won't make you sit through this struggle. Okay, full disclosure here. I went into my jewelry findings and I got the size bigger jump rings. So, Resiners, I'm sorry, but I think you missed it on the jump ring size because those are just way too tight. I finally got the zombie hands on those, and then I was like, no, I needed to go a size bigger. So here's how they look, and this is, you know, how they would be displayed, like this. Oops. I have two 5-foot rotating retail racks, and so I hang these, and I always put the rubber stoppers on the back. Otherwise, if the wind blows or something, your hangings are gonna fall off the cards, believe me. Ask me how I know. But there's the moons and the bats. Then we've got the spiders. Now, if you like big earrings, these are for you, definitely. Spiders. The zombie hands. Do you see the spiders? Spiders. Spider webs. Here are the crosses. The skulls. Like I said, you can buy the rubber stoppers separately. Some kits come with them, some kits don't. Buy the rubber stoppers separately because you can get like thousands of them for like $5. And I always have them. There are your bats. And last but not least, your witch hats. So, Resiners, I love the mold. The mold is fantastic. I appreciate the jewelry findings. I just think you missed the mark and need to go one size bigger on the jump rings, because those jump rings, especially for how thick this mold is, I mean, this mold is not little. Those jump rings were just too tight. So I went one size up. Don't ask me what size it is because I don't know. I don't have my jump rings in, I have them separated, but I don't have what size they are on them. So I just pick the ones that I think. And this was just that one size different than what they sent in the kit. And that's it. And you could have put gold on them. They sent the gold ones too. I tend to do silver. But there you are. There are the Resiners Halloween earrings. And I think that they are fabulous. And if you remember right, these should glow in the dark. Let's see. Let's see if I can get some glow out of. Alexa, turn craft room lights off. Ah! Alexa, turn off the craft room lights.
Okay.
There we are. They're not charged, but you can see we do have glowing objects. Alexa, turn the lights on, craft room.
Okay.
There we go. Yes, my bedroom is called the craft room because my son put his as bedroom. So mine became craft room, which is kind of appropriate. So we have glow in the dark earrings. Like I said, Resiners, spot on with the mold. I love the mold. I think it's nice and chunky, and it's a really good earring mold. And you could also do keychains with these very easily. But the only critique I have is that the jump ring should have been one size bigger. Other than that, fantastic. So that will do it for this episode. And I will see you guys in the next one. But in the meantime, please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Hit that black bell so the next time I upload a video, you are notified. And please, please, please do not forget about all the discount codes in the description box. They're there for you guys to use. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.